Las Vegas women. We can talk about anything that we like.
Schorem?
No, it's Schorem. It's
It's a Dutch, so it's really difficult.
Okay.
But
All right. So,
you can say Schorem.
well, I'm going to say it however you want me to say it.
Yeah,
So,
but you
I don't
can.
want people to say it.
Schorem,
Schorem.
Okay.
Haarsnijder en barbier.
that's what it
Perfect.
means. So,
Okay. What does it mean?
It means pretty much assholes.
but
It's a really bad word, but when you come from Holland, it's a really good name because it's got a little a joke of word in it because
Okay.
it's also the past tense of I shave him, I shaved him, ik scheer hem, ik schoor hem, ik
Okay.
schoor hem.
it's
but-
lost in translation.
It's kind of lost in translation, but the thing is, when we opened our shop, we had no idea that the shop would be known over the borders of Holland because
Right.
then we I don't think we would have given it another name, but of course, nobody in the world can pronounce it. You have to be Dutch, maybe German or Belgium to be able to pronounce
Right.
that especially that first sound, that school. That's really hard when you speak English.
Awesome. Well, so I think we should I think we started. So let's talk about. I want to talk about your shop because it's very interesting to me. I own a salon. You guys are on a wholly like a completely different side of the industry, but I think the industry is trying to combine itself, and which is where I think you guys have blown up in popularity as well. I think hairdressers and barbers alike follow you guys at this point. So it's an impressive thing to watch. And this was sent to me by Kiyoshi from Mizutani when it first came out. I watched the whole thing. I loved everything you're doing. I think a lot of people love it. So tell me, right when you started your shop, you said you named it and you didn't really think a lot of people would really know it. Like it wouldn't be known as well as it is now, right?
Actually, when we came up with the idea, most of the people that we knew, friends and the family, they thought it was the worst idea ever. But the weird thing is because now we're in America, right? And we were just really jealous of the American barber culture.
Okay.
Because your history with barbershops is so much more interesting than it was in where we come from. It's pretty much the war that killed the barbershop in Holland because, of course, we were bombed and we had to rebuild the country, and then you had the hippies and you had the Stones and you had the Beatles. So that's pretty much what was the final blow to the barbershop. So in Holland, there were no barbershops left.
Okay.
But we definitely looked at America. We looked at Turkey. We kind of dove into the history of the barbershop.
Right.
And as I always say, I mean, we stole a lot of ideas from you guys, but we combined it
Right.
with the history of the barbershop in Holland, France, Belgium. We just wanted to know as much as there was to know about barbershops. And then when we opened that shop, this was like the business plan ever. Because what we did normally, when you open a salon or a shop or whatever, you're looking at what the client might want, right? I mean, that's where you base your ideas on. And what we did is, because we have been entrepreneurs for a very, very long time. He had his first shop when he was
16.
16. He had his
Oh, wow.
first
Yeah.
shop. I was 18 when I opened my first salon. So we learned a lot, and what I find really interesting is that we started with men's hair,
Okay.
and then we took that huge detour, learned about women's hair, learned about being on stage, learned about education, just to return to what we love doing the most and why we got started in the first place.
Right.
And when we opened that shop, in the beginning, we really wanted to open like an American barbershop, like a jukebox and everything. And then we found the back bar that we have that was like 120 years old, handcrafted. And especially the fact that it was handcrafted by a carpenter, a master, a carpenter. For us, that kind of changed the view that we had on the shop that we wanted to make.
Okay.
Because Schorem, to us, it's like the ultimate place where we would like to go to.
Right.
So we skipped the whole what a client might want. So we had like really loud music, and we had a stupid name for the shop. I mean, when we went to the Chamber of Commerce, they were just like, you cannot call your shop assholes. You just can do. I think they actually looked it up if it was okay by law if you can call
Right.
it, because it was.
Yeah.
It's a horrible name. In Holland, it's a horrible
Yeah,
name.
because no one in America would call their shop assholes.
No, it
No.
it didn't make any
Right.
sense. But since there is a little joke to it, because Schorem, and it's a really bad word. When I called my mother and I said we found the name of the shop, it's going to be Schorem, she cried a little.
She did.
She did. She was like, I don't want anybody to call my son Schorem. So I told Mom they've been doing that for years, But no, it's like the scum of the nation. But
Okay.
it also is the past tense of I shave him. So I shaved him. Ik scheer hem, ik schoor hem. So and because we kind of had an image with the white jackets and everything, and then being called Schorem, it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense because and it worked. And then
It all
we
came together.
yeah, and then we had this beautiful shop with all the antiques, because we went absolutely nuts on the antiques. At a certain point, we would drive 4 hours to get a light a socket that was made out of the backlight.
Isn't it funny though? Like, I think a lot of people like would maybe look at what you've done, look at your shop, and basically the image that you guys portray, but then realize that you actually drove 4 hours to get a light socket. Like, it's actually really well put together. Like, you
Yeah.
put thought into every, even though it's kind of like I don't know what the word would be, but like it looks like you didn't take a lot of time to do it, but every piece
It took a long
exactly,
time.
and
It
that's
took
what
a
I love
real-
about it.
It took a really long
like
time,
years.
but what you got to understand is that we put a lot of time and effort in it. But I think the most important thing is we put love in it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Especially fun.
Yeah.
there was a lot of fun and a lot of love, because we would be so happy with like a small old can, or and we would be like, we would actually drive for, I mean, we got so many, because barbering, it's not just about hair, it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
It's the same with your Facebook, your Instagram. You want to tell a story to the people, and especially with guys, I mean, that's the core of the barbershop. You tell stories together. And I mean, when we opened that shop, I mean, at one point we really wanted to have a crocodile. Don't ask me why.
Like a real crocodile?
No, we wanted to have like a stuffed crocodile because for us, when you read about wizards and blah blah, there's always a crocodile. It's a mystic thing. So
Yeah.
Leen found one on the internet. Now,
It's impressive.
yeah. So, but the thing is,
It's not that impressive.
no. Because the thing is, we saw the crocodile, right? And we were all excited, and it was way up north. Like, we had to be in the car for 3 hours. I know in America that's nothing, but in Holland that's pretty much from the south to the north. It's
Okay.
it's pretty far. So we rented a van to pick up the crocodile, right? And we drove for and the crocodile got bigger and bigger, in our heads, and we were just like, I don't have a driver's license, so I was just being slightly drunk in the car because we had.
rented the car because my car I got a big car, but we
Okay.
thought it was too small.
So, but in our heads, the crocodile got big, and we were like, oh, maybe we have to. It has to be in the ceiling
Like,
and
how
blah
are
blah.
you gonna lift
and
it? Yeah.
and then finally we arrive at the house. The guy opens the door, and there is a crocodile in the hallway. And we go like, you better have the father upstairs. And he was like, no, this is the and so we had a van, and we put the crocodile in the middle, and we're like,
That's great.
but so there's a story to every little thing in that shop.
In the shop, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
I
great.
it's important, man. It's about.
So tell me about that culture that you're talking about. So you talk about the American culture of barbershops, and what do you think if you combine that old American culture and just the culture of barbering in general with what it's like right now, what do you think is the big difference?
I think that we lost the art of having a conversation with a total stranger. I think that when you look at the barbershop, the psychology behind the barbershop is so much more important than just the haircuts.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to create an environment that, I mean, the shop that we got, it's our shop. It fits like a glove. So
Yeah.
I feel 1,000% myself in that shop, and that's gonna work. The people will feel that, and we think, I mean, don't get me wrong, we love the history of the American barbershop, but
Right.
we're not American. We're not
No.
trying to be American
Right.
or nothing. You know, we really had like so many friends that wore the haircuts that we like to do and everything. You know, but we discovered the real magic of the barbershop at the moment we opened the doors, right? Because we saw what was happening. People started to talk to each other again, people that didn't know each other.
Right.
And the society has changed so much without us even realizing how much it changed, because people are living their lives on their Instagram pages and everything,
Right.
where you only show the good stuff. You know, you don't talk about the bad stuff because you don't want the people to know, but somehow in that barbershop you will talk about the bad stuff as well, because you're amongst the guys.
Right.
And back in the days, the barbershop was called a third place in a society, you know,
Yeah.
and the people need that. But things have changed. I mean, so many of the people now, back in the day, you had like your circle, right? You had like your house, your friends, the family. It was all close together. But now the people either travel for work,
Right.
or they stay at home working, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the people, without even knowing it, you know, you're spending so much time not having a social interaction anymore. And a barbershop is one of those places that still it's a natural thing. It's the lifeblood of the society, that you
Right.
actually talk to each other. But we forgot about places like that, because if you go to a bar with your friends, yeah, well, you still want to be the coolest guy in the bar, you know. There's women there, and I mean, you know, it's a
Right.
different thing.
You don't have to show off in a barber.
In a barbershop, your colors fall away. Nobody gives a fuck about how much you make in the end of the month, where you come from,
Right.
you know, and you're there for the same thing. Plus, a lot of guys didn't I mean, I think the barbershop is a place where getting a haircut, you know, getting a haircut was not fun anymore, because they went to a salon, you know, and guys don't know a lot about their hair. And the rules, the social rules in a salon for guys, it's pretty a complicated thing. When there is a woman over here with foils in her hair up to there,
Right.
most guys have no idea what's happening. They're like, oh, Jesus, you know. And that's not, and in a barbershop, that's not happening,
Right.
right? Plus, in a bar, I mean, when you're in a salon, the chair is facing the mirror, so you're creating little islands in a shop, you know, and you're building a band of trust with your client. So don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want that thing because they know blah blah. We turn the chairs around, so the people getting a haircut are actually facing the
Talking to
people.
everybody.
So yeah, you do not tell a joke to your client, you tell a joke
To the room.
yeah, and there is always this guy that knows a better joke, right? So
Right.
so it's completely different, and I think those places were needed again,
Yeah.
right? And now we see the whole, well, the maybe the renaissance of the barbershop, because there's so and we can only be happy about that, because
Yeah.
guys should have to be able to choose whether they want to go to a salon or to a barbershop, you know? And a barbershop, it's a place where everybody will know your name.
Right. And how long have you had your shop?
5.5 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's insane
It
growth.
feels like
In-
25.
Oh, I know. I've had mine for 7, and yeah.
Well, we had this shop, but we had shops
you had a shop
that
before
as
that
well,
when you,
but
because you started when you were
the
16,
stuff
right?
that we did in the 5.5 years, I think a lot of people put that in 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that, so you now, I want to get into the products, because we sell these in my salon. I love everything about the products, but I don't know what those are. So I'm excited to hear about that. So tell me, the products launched, it's Reuzel.
Yeah.
I got that one.
Yeah, well,
And-
it's actually Reuzel, but Reuzel is
also
okay.
a Dutch name.
All right.
And that actually really sounds good in German.
Yeah.
Reuzel.
So tell me, so you launched with these two,
Yeah.
right? And so tell me, why did you do it? Why start the products?
Well, one of the problems that we had, I mean, again, in America, there is a lot of really cool small brands of pomades. But in the beginning, when we started the shop, it was really hard to come by those products a lot of times. And the thing with guys is, once they're used to a product, they wanna keep using that product.
Yeah.
And for us, it was starting to become a problem because with some brands, they were actually made in a shed in the backyard.
Yeah.
Right. So we tried to order that, and we never had the products.
Okay.
Now, so this is pretty much.
Sometimes they couldn't deliver like for 6 months or 8 months. That was really shitty.
Yeah, that's not good for business.
No, and it was turning into a problem. And the funny thing is, because we, of course. First of all, we wanted to open an American barbershop, blah, 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 and we were looking for an English name that didn't work out. And then on one night, we found the name Schorem, which was perfect. And, well, the thing that we did, because we were so happy that we found the name, is we got drunk. And that same night, we actually said as a joke, a complete joke, we said, well, maybe if one day we are going to make a pomade, we're going to call it Reuzel, because it means lard, right? And we thought it would be hilarious if somebody would say, oh man, I got lard in my hair, you know? But again, we had no idea that stuff was going to happen, because the people all said, like, Schorem, no, a shop with a name like that's never going to work. But that worked out perfectly. So we were like, oh man, we got to make the pomade.
I can't wait to hear what you name the next project. So tell me about the products. So
yeah, we got like, for us, it was really important to come out with an old school grease-based pomade. Now, the weird thing is this will never be the best seller, but we would have not done our brand without a real grease, because our haircuts are based on an era of time that was before the chemical revolution. People did not know how to make gel or hairspray. That's why when you watch old movies, guys always look good because they got greased up hair slicked back, you know, and that those haircuts will look good in 200 years. Right?
Yeah.
So for us, that was the most important thing. We did realize that we have to have a water base that's easy to wash out, because that's the problem with grease, right? It's hard to wash out. That's why we got the hair tonic. I'll get back to that.
Okay.
But, you know, our shop and haircuts are based on the real grease, because the water-based, it's a pomade, but it's not a grease. Right? Because you can wash it out. But for the clients, this is way easier to use. So we like to say we got like old school and we got new school. Yeah. Which is good, because you have to teach the people, your clients, how to use the products. Right? So these were the first products that we came out with, and then we came out, because this is my personal a favorite is this one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we sell the shit out of the red and the blue, because the blue is pretty much the red on steroids.
Right.
So it's stronger. It's doing really well in Asia. You know, it's like really when you got really straight hair, and it really works really good.
Okay.
And then we wanted, of course, a strong pink. And this is my favorite. You know, you can do pretty much every hairstyle with it, but it's even harder to get out of the hair, right? But for me, you know, the buildup of the grease is going to make the hair look even better, because if you got grease in your hair for a couple of days, it goes into the hair, so you respect the natural fall and wave of the hair. You just learn to play with it, because, you know, it has to move.
Right.
So that was the cool thing about the pomades. We're coming out with 2 more, like a matte and a fiber a pomade.
Oh, nice.
So both new school, a bit more easier to use if you do not want to go for the greasy look.
Okay.
Also both water-based.
Both water-based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So easy to wash out. We got beard products. This one is pretty revolutionary, because it's a beard foam. It's a conditioner.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes your beard swell up a little bit. So it's actually a foam, and I'm pretty sure it's the only one on the market. It's really cool stuff. We put Mr. Edward Teach on the label.
Nice.
So that's Blackbeard, you know, and Blackbeard was the most notorious a pirate in a most notorious the pirate in history. Sorry about that.
It's on my table.
Okay, so it's the most notorious pirate in history. And the funny thing is, because people like to say about Schorem, it's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah, maybe it is. You know, I mean, we definitely marketed an image. Yeah. But that's exactly what Blackbeard did, because when you read the history books, which I love history, he scared people he scared people to surrender just by looking like that. He actually didn't kill the guys on the ships. He so I
intimidated them.
Yeah, just intimidating.
Yeah.
I really love that. So
Well, that's what's funny. So with saying that, well, the funny thing is, like when you guys walked up, so I've only seen this.
Yeah.
I've heard stories, and I know your products. I know your image. When you guys walked up, I was like, are these the same guys? You're very like, you were smiling bigger than anybody I've ever seen, and you're just like happy and you know, very
Of
outgoing.
course.
So it's cool.
Of course, we're living the dream. I mean, we never ever expected to become a success. I mean, we're two screw ups, and you know what I really like about the product and the shop is we follow our guts. We're just like, oh, this feels good, let's do it. You know, and it's the same with, and some stuff is just stupid, but because it's stupid, it's fun. I mean, on the aftershave, we have a guillotine because that's the closest shave you can get, right? So for us, and we go like, oh, can we do that? Yeah, because if you think too long about an ID, then it gets too polished and everything. You know, it's the same with the pig. I mean, but the
what is the pig for?
The power of, well, the pig.
Bacon fat.
Okay.
Because it's Reuzel, so it's lard, you know, and lard is like the most horrible thing in the world. They used lard in the war to make it easier to swallow old bread, you know. I mean, it's a horrible product, and they baked shit in it. It's like the most greasiest, fattest, dirtiest shit in the world. But you know what? You know, and I told you before, we stole from everybody, right? Now, I have an example. There is a movie called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I have.
From the Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
So George Clooney uses Dapper Dan pomade. Yeah. I don't want fob, goddammit. I'm a Dapper Dan man. Yeah. So the Coen Brothers made the most famous pomade in the world that did not exist. Right? So that really inspired us. And we got an original can of Dapper Dan from the movie, a movie prop on eBay.
Okay.
Now, you know what's in the ingredients of Dapper Dan, which is a fictional ingredient? Alaskan seal fat. Yeah?
Baby seal.
Baby seal fat. So can you imagine just...
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man, these guys, that is just brilliant. And we knew that the first pomades were made out of animal fat. So we were like, okay, it's a wink to back in the day, because the first ointments, they were made out of animal fat, and they were used to close the wounds after the bloodletting and the leaching, which of course got infected, blah, 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 blah. And that's how a product kind of evolves and became a hair product, right? And it smelled really rancid, so they used apples to cover that rancid smell, and that's where the name comes from. The French word for apple is pomade. That's why the pink and the green smell like apple, you know, because it's about storytelling. Hey,
Nice.
Gordon.
What's up, Gordon?
So... in a very natural way.
It's very good.
Nobody noticed.
So that's pretty much how you see. So I mean, you can call it inspiration, you can call it plain stealing. It doesn't matter, because we just gave it our own twist, and we have a lot of fun coming up with ideas, you know. I mean, and we are not afraid to make a fool out of ourselves. Have you seen my pin? What does it
Where do
say?
I get one of those? I can't. I don't want to mess up the word again.
Try.
Schorem.
What is it?
Schorem sucks. And what does it say under it?
Fucking hipsters.
Fucking hipsters.
Yeah.
That's what people like to call us to bring us down.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you like to say that, I'll make a pin for you. You know, you can put it. Yeah.
Who's saying this? This is what. So I don't. So there is a whole world. So I accidentally put out a men's haircut.
Yeah.
And this was like when I first started making videos 2.5 years ago. The video, because of the popularity of men's cutting, I'm not even a barber. I don't consider myself a men's cutter, really. Got 5 million views on YouTube, and it's a nightmare. I still don't take it down because it has 5 million views, but every single day there's horrible, hateful things being said. So tell me, Well, you know what? In the beginning, when we first had the shop, it kind of hurt my feelings when the people were putting it down. But first of all, when we made those posters, right?
I was looking for a model with a beard. This is 5 years ago. It took me 3 weeks to find a model with a beard. Now, if I need a model without a beard, it's going to take me 3 weeks.
Right.
But you know, that whole movement with the hipsters and the beards and everything. First of all, we are the two luckiest motherfuckers in the world, right? I mean, we start this shop. And we were at the right place at the right time doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing, yep.
Everybody else could have done the same thing, but we were there. And we had no idea that this whole thing was going to explode with the beards and shit. Right? Because we just opened that shop to cut our friends. We just wanted to have fun. Now, then people, the hateful things, you know, because people go about that hipster thing. But for me, a barbershop is open for everybody. So I don't care if you're a hipster or a punk or psychobilly or gay or, you know, if you're a guy, you're going to get a haircut. Right? And by realizing that, it was kind of easy to let all the hateful things just slip away because, you know, I'm just doing my job. I love doing my job. If you look at the DVD, you can see we actually really enjoy doing haircuts. And if there's a little bit of advice in that, whenever somebody tries to put you down or behave, man, just, you know, I mean, the thing that I have when they react on my Facebook page or whatever, fucking hips, blah, blah, I said, but yeah, here you are on my page, checking out what I'm doing. You know, your haters are your biggest fans. Right? I mean, the people that spend all the time on your page going like, I hate this, I hate that. Man, they're spending time in you. Right?
True.
So that sounded really strange.
They're spending time in you.
So tell me, that's fine. We're good. This is not.
No, it's like, you know, I mean.
I totally get what you're saying, and I respect that because it is the way. I think a lot of people they fall into the trap of maybe not doing something because they feel like somebody's gonna knock them down or feel like they're copying somebody. I've never really, like, for me, I take inspiration from everyone, and I love being able to put my twist on it. That's cool to hear that that's what you guys are doing.
That's it. And you know what? I think Schorem is so... it's a really transparent shop. You know, we try to be honest about everything. You know, the haircuts are honest because when you look at the trade, craftsmanship, I always like to say, you cannot lie with your hands, right? So in the end, because, I mean, again, we're really lucky. We travel, and we had no idea, you know, because the first time that we had to go on stage I was shitting myself. I mean, I never chose to do that, you know. It kind of happened to us, but man, I was scared shitless, you know, because I'm just used to being behind the chair with my client. But you know, you have to be honest to yourself. Is it still the thing I want to do? But in the end, you know, it's all about the client. You know, even for us, still, it's all about the client. I want every client to leave that shop feeling good about himself and his experience in the shop. Just never, ever forget about that. You know, because that is the core of the shop. And I mean, you know what? It's the other thing. I mean, you want your client to look good when he leaves the shop, but you want him to look great when he leaves the house, right? So you got to drop your ego. You're not doing your haircut for anybody else. It's just for your client. I mean, if he can reproduce that same haircut and feel good about himself, man, you've done a great job. That's why we got started in this business in the first place.
We took this to the max on time, but I appreciate you guys. The cameras are shutting off. That's never happened in an interview before. So this is a
one
record.
Question, and this was one answer.
If it was going to happen on anyone, I'm glad it was you guys. Thank you for doing this. Is there anything else? These are all new products, though. I definitely do.
Actually, not that new. So you got a
So why do I not have them? Kiyoshi, what?
The grooming tonic.
Yeah.
This is pretty much our best product.
Okay.
You know, you can use this before you apply heat, before blow drying. You can use it as a tonic just to groom your hair if you want a light hold. Okay. You can use it over the pomades for extra shine. It's this one came out better than we expected, actually, because that's the same. Yeah, but that's what I mean about that's what I mean about being honest. You get all these testers, you know what you want, and then in the end you're like, this pretty much it.
Yeah.
But then when this came out, and we found, because we made it just to have like a tonic to blow dry with, because we wanted to have a bit of hold,
Yeah.
because that's how we work. We cut the hair wet, then we dry, and then we finish.
Yeah.
But then we found out it's so much better than what we actually wanted to have.
Okay.
And that's super cool, you know
That's
what
awesome.
I mean?
Yeah, that's great.
Because we didn't know anything about making products as well. I actually cooked up the first can of Reuzel in the kitchen,
You
and
did?
I totally fucked up. Oh my God, you have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's a process, and it's funny because you look at, like, if you YouTube how to make a pomade, it's like these kids are making it with like 4 ingredients, but
Yeah.
then you look at like what it really takes to make something that lasts. You know,
Yeah.
there is a lot of science to
Yeah,
it.
but I'm gonna be honest. Like there are a few home brewers that
That are
make
really good.
pomades with 4 ingredients that are absolutely amazing. You
Awesome.
know, and I mean, I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the fact that because of the barbering, that all these small companies are doing so good with their beard oils, with their,
Yeah.
you know, that's great. That you got almost kids that become
they are. They're
entrepreneurs.
cute,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually really like that.
Very cool. So if people want to check out the product, can they go to is it,
www.reuzelpomade.com.
is that really
I
what it is?
repeat, www.reuzelpomade.com, kids.
That's good.
Yeah,
And they can get a rep,
they can get a rep,
a good
They
rep.
need a wrap, a good wrap.
a good rep. You need a good rep.
I know. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Is there anything else you want to put out there? I think you
No, I think we pretty
I
much.
think you put it.
Just stop.
Well, thank you guys for
Thank you
sitting
so
down.
much, man. This
so
was
nice to meet you guys.
This was really nice.
Yeah,
this
very
was a really
cool.
fun interview.
All right, guys. Thank you to American Salon Magazine for hooking up this interview. We are at the Cosmoprof. What are we at? Gordon, where are we at?
We're at Cosmoprof North America, right outside of Beacon.
Cosmoprof North America in Vegas, right outside of PBA Beacon. Which
The student program.
is that what that is?
PBA Beacon.
America.
Beacon is the best students in America. All right. So
Awesome.
Good thing we were very.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much. Thank you to American Salon. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.
absolutely. Thank you.
Let's do